everybody, and welcome back to Art a la Carte, and the third video in our choose your own video story thing we're doing. For those of you who don't know what's going on, every week I'm telling you a part of a story. While I'm telling you the story, I'm going to be illustrating a scene from that part. And then at the end of the video, I give a couple of different scenarios or choices that the character can do. But I leave the choices up to you guys. I'll have a link to a poll where you guys can vote on what you think the next part of the story should be about. If you haven't seen the first two videos, I would highly recommend watching those first so the story makes a little bit more sense, and I'll leave links to those in the description box of this video. Also, you're going to want to stay to the end of this video because I'm going to be announcing the winner of our contest that we had not last Saturday, but the Saturday before for the Mark Kistler art book. So if you're curious as to who won, maybe it was you, make sure to watch through the whole video to the very end. So now let's talk about the poll results from last week's story where we left Amelia off at kind of a cliffhanger. It always seems to be a bit of a cliffhanger. But the evil crow-like monster creature had just stolen away the mirror with her mother trapped inside. And the choices for Amelia were to, 1, go after the crow-like monster creature and try to get the mirror back, 2, go and ask her father for help, or 3, to go to the mysterious tree that her mother had told her to go to. And the poll conclusion was to go and talk to good old Dad. So that's where we are taking the story off to next. Before I jump into the actual story, I want to talk a little bit about the illustration. There were several different things I wanted to illustrate in this picture, like several different scenes. And it was really hard to choose one scene over the other. There's going to be a couple of twists in this story, and all of them deserve to be illustrated, but I could only choose one. So I decided to go with the revealing of a new character, which you'll meet in the story. Now, because I have a very limited time, the poll closes on Saturday night, so Sunday I kind of think about the story, and Monday and Tuesday work on the actual illustration. I didn't even know what the character would really look like. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, thank you guys so much for giving me some insight and helping me to choose the design. So I posted this photo on Instagram and had you guys tell me your input. Got lots of good feedback. It was hard for a lot of you because I gave you no clue about the character, whether he was a good guy or a bad guy or what. Let's just jump into the story so you guys can find out. How is it even possible? My mother is still alive? Amelia's head was racing. In just a few short moments, she had gone from thinking her mother had died when she was 3 years old from a fever to the possibility that her mother was alive and trapped in some sort of magical hand mirror. Father will know what to do. I'll just tell Father everything, and he'll know what to do. Amelia kept telling herself that as she ran down the long hall towards the throne room. She was halfway down before she noticed something was strangely different. Where are the guards? Her steps slowed as she gazed down the hall, usually filled with a line of guards, bustling with servants, advisors, councilmen. But there was nobody. Then her eyes drifted down to the floor, and a shudder went up her spine as long black feathers littered the floor. Those bird things, have they gotten Father? Amelia quickened her steps and raced towards the doors. Before she reached out to push open the doors, her hand paused. A voice of caution filled her mind. If there are no guards or servants, and the hallway is littered with black feathers, one should proceed with caution. Amelia put her hand to the door and quietly opened it. At first the throne room looked completely empty, which again was very odd. No servants, soldiers, anybody. Her gaze around the throne room suddenly stopped when she saw a dark figure looking out the window. Father, the whisper stuck on her lips. It looked like her father. Cautiously, Amelia crossed the throne room, hidden slightly behind banners hung up on the wall. Every step she took closer to the dark figure of her father made her heart pound. From the back it looked like her father, his broad, strong shoulders, the royal robe, even the crown on his head. Yet as she got closer to her father, he shifted positions, and she could see his face. It wasn't the face of her father. Though he had the body of a man, his face was that of a crow. Black, beady eyes, and a long bill Amelia would have shrieked in terror had not two large green hands wrapped around her face and pulled her back into darkness. She expected to hit the wall behind them and was surprised as she saw the light disappear and the feeling of falling. Amelia braced herself for impact when she was again surprised when the large hands gently placed her on the ground. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she expected to see a large figure behind her, judging from the size of the hands, and was surprised to find a small little green man looking back up at her. He was only about half her size and height, though his hands and feet were very large, as were his eyes. Her opinion that he was in fact a small man began to disappear. He was more like a toad, or then she realized he resembled very much some of the stone statues that were in the garden. A round head with no hair, large eyes, pointy little ears, a stubby nose, and, strange enough, a friendly grinning smile.
"You's not hurt, is you? I'se be happy if you make no noise, please,"
the creature said to her. Amelia blinked at him. "Who are you?" she asked. The creature smiled up at her with a toothless grin. Well, he had one tooth, but that was it.
"I'se Knox."
You knock?
"No, I'se knock."
Amelia blinked. "You mean your name is
Knox? Yes, I knocks."
The creature's head bobbing up and down in excitement. "Are you a friend or?"
"I's a friend. I's a friend. I's a friend of you. You want to be Knox's friend?"
He grinned in hopefulness. "I don't know." Amelia tried to stand up, but her head hit something hard, and she sat down quickly.
"You can't stand up here, princess. You's taller than Knox can reach. Can only dig it so high."
Knox stretched his hands up to reach the top of the cave.
"That's my job. This is why they say to Knox, 'Come, you dig the cave.' But when it comes time to find the princess, they say, 'Knox, you stay here. The princess see your face. She'll be terrified of you.'" Ha ha ha.
Again, Knox's joy overcame him, and his nearly toothless grin almost caused Amelia to smile.
"Now look who finds princess first, and she be wanting Knox as her friend."
"The others you're talking about, are those the black birds?" Amelia asked. Knox's smile disappeared.
"Black birds? Duh! There's not our friend. Them's night birds. Night birds not Knox's friend. Vile, ugly things, stealing what they want. No, Knox and his friends, they be here to help you, princess."
Amelia again tried to stand up. "That man in the throne room. Did he take my father? He was wearing his crown." Knox's eyes looked sad.
"Knox, sad to say, that king is now a birdman. You cannot go back. He is not your father."
"What do you mean? That my father is... that creature is my father?"
"You come with Knox. Knox take you home. You be safe there."
Bending over, Amelia got to her feet. "No, Knox, I can't leave my father or grandmother. I have to save them." The entrance to the cave had been carefully hidden behind a long line of banners. As Amelia peeked out from behind the banner, she saw more figures in the room. The figure of her father and the figure of her grandmother, or what was her grandmother. Both figures bore the face of crows. But it was the third figure that kept Amelia from calling out. The figure was tall, with a black cape lined with crow feathers. Though she could not clearly see his face, it was what he held in his hand that drew Amelia's attention. A small, round hand mirror. "Mother." Amelia's foot moved to step out from behind the banner when she felt Knox's warm hand grasping the hem of her gown. She glanced back at his face, his eyes wide with worry, as he silently whispered to her, "Follow Knox." And that, you guys, is where I am leaving off the story for this week. So this week there are only two choices that you get to vote on. One, does she decide to follow Knox back down the cavernous hole? Or does she decide to find a way to save her family? So head to the description, find the poll link, and go and vote. The poll will be open until Saturday evening, so vote, vote, vote. But before you do that, let me announce the winner of our contest. And the winner from August 12th contest to win the Mark Kistler art book is Jessica Armenta. So all you have to do, Jessica, is send me a message through YouTube and I will get your information. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.